Yo. What's up? You can see me, you can hear me. You can hear me? Wave your hand if you can hear me. I don't know, maybe because I got the what you call it up that is not doing. All right, you ready? Let me go ahead and get this started. I don't like how this works. Man, crazy. You, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. Do me a favor, if you can see me and you can hear me clearly, put a one in the chat. Do me a favor, if you can see me and you can hear me clearly, please put a one in the chat. Let me bring Lakita to the stage. What's going on, Lakita? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. So we did a live stream yesterday, right? And you said something that was interesting. It kind of caught my attention. And so I decided to do the live stream today and just see get a little more of your take on it. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you know what it is that you said that caught my attention? No? Not a clue.
Something about sacrifices.
All right, so we were talking about money, and initially the conversation started with I think me asking a question: Who was money more important to? Was it more important to men, or was it more important to women? And so your response was is that it was more important to men. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So then you went on ahead. You went on further, and you said that a man will sacrifice his family for money. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so you have to elaborate on that. Like, what do you mean that a man would sacrifice his family for money?
So, what I mean by that is sometimes a man could get so focused and driven on making money that he doesn't set aside time for his family.
He doesn't set aside time for his family.
That's correct.
Okay, so what does that look like? Right? Is this the guy who works two jobs in order to make ends meet, or maybe he works one job but he just works many hours at that particular job in order to make ends meet? Is that the guy that maybe starting a business? What is that? Who is that man?
I'm referring more so to the man that doesn't have to work that hard, and they just choose to because, they can never make enough money. So
Okay.
they feel they have to, you know, be there even when they don't have to be because they just have to keep making money. They'll never make enough.
Okay. So let me ask you this: is are you is a man expected to provide for his family?
I think overall that's the consensus, that a man, provides for his family. Yes.
Okay. Um. So if a man provides for his family, he would need income would be very very important as far as what he can do with his family, right? I mean, as far as the neighborhood that you can live in, the schools that the kids can go to, the foods that you eat, and things of that nature, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so the money is important, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, for the man that is working too much and not spending enough time with the family, is he at least the money that he's making while he's away from the family, is he at least putting that money towards the family, or is that a man who's he has all the fancy cars and all the jewelry and things like that, while the family doesn't really have too much?
I mean, I think the money that he's making, I mean, the family definitely has the material things, but it's not all about material things because, let's say this man has a family, has young children. They don't stay young forever. And as they grow, if they don't have that, time and all of that, you know, you're not really, I would say a man isn't able to fully feel his potential because he's supposed to be able to lead the family as well. And if he's always gone and at work, how can he lead?
Okay, so always gone and at work. Give me an example of always gone and always, always at work. Is this somebody who is, let's just say, an over the road truck driver who's out for, you know what I'm saying, maybe 21 days, 25 days at a time, and then he comes home for, 3 days? Or is this the man that's just, he leaves early in the morning before the sun comes up, and then he doesn't get back home until, the sun goes back down? Like which man, would that?
I would say the latter of the two.
Okay, so he just pretty much gone all day, but he's still home and active somewhat with like the family and the kids, but maybe not as much as you would like, or not as much as the
I,
kids would like.
I would say that he's not um, available when it's important. For instance, like if he's up before, and out before the sun comes up, and then he's back when the sun goes down, the kids get up after he leaves, and the kids, are in bed in this instance with by the time they come home. So it's like there's no time for him to interact because he's always at work.
Okay. So what would a solution be for that? I'm just kind of curious. Like, what would a solution be for that? If a man has the type of job that he has to leave out early in the morning, and he gets back home late, late in the evening, or he just, works a lot of hours, whatever the type of job that he has, and he's pretty much gone all the time, but he's providing for the family. What would a fix for that be?
Well, the solution or fix for that would be for him to step back and, really look at it. Not saying he needs to cut back to the point where they're just getting by, but within reason, and also depending on the type of woman he's with, you know, if they're putting together their resources and all of that, it's just like, okay, so what's the need? Because he's not going to do anything but, work himself to death. And, no matter who you are, whether you're a man or woman, you have to have time to relax and rest and just, take in life because, when time passes, it passes.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right? Okay, let's just say if a woman is in this situation, right? The wife is in this situation. She feels like the husband is not home as much as he should be. He's out earning a living, right? Because he has to provide. He got to put a roof over your head and feed y'all, and the kids and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should a woman be willing to uh, cut back on the lifestyle that the man is providing in order for him to be around more? So let's just say, for example, you live in a $400,000 house, right? Should a woman say, "Hey, look, you know what? I want you to be home more, so let's downsize from this $400,000 house to a $150,000 house, a smaller house in a not so good neighborhood, so that you can be home more with the kids." Would that be a viable solution to the issue?
I wouldn't necessarily say she has to take that much of a drastic measure to say go live in a bad neighborhood, because at the end of the day you still want the best for your kids. But if they're living beyond their means, where he's having to work this much to provide something that's not necessarily needed, a $400,000 house may not be, what's needed for their family and things of that nature, or what's important.
Okay, so we do agree that the the better the neighborhood, the more money it's going to cost to live there, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So would it be out of the question, or for a woman to uproot the family and move to a lesser neighborhood so that the price of the house and things of that nature is a lot less, so that the man can be home more often with the kids?
As long as it's a safe solution, I
Okay.
would say yes.
Okay. Now, who makes that determination as to the neighborhood? If the neighborhood is safe, is the man the one to say, okay, well, this is a safe neighborhood? Is it agreement that both of them have to come to, or
I think it's an agreement both of them have to come to, if they have, a family, like children that they're raising. I think they both should come to that conclusion.
okay,
Because at the end of the day, I mean, he's still going to be away at work, or she is, and want to make sure he wants to make sure it's a place where she's still going to feel safe when he's not there.
okay. So, what if, depending on the amount of money that the man makes, in order for him to provide a lifestyle where you're in a safe neighborhood, these are the amount of hours that he has to work?
If someone, in the, I guess, saying of a man sacrificing his family, does not necessarily refer to the man who's doing what he has to do because that's what he has to do. If you understand what I'm saying.
I surely don't. I think most men are doing what they have to do because they have to do it. I think to a man, it's more like a duty. Like, this is what I have to do.
There's
I
a
don't,
such thing as anything. Someone can do something too much. So you have workaholics, you know. So if a man fits that category, and it's not necessarily like he has to work or be at work all the time to be able to support the lifestyle, it's a difference. Like, if he's making a sacrifice for his family, as opposed to just sacrificing the relationship with his family. If you understand what I'm saying.
nah, it's still not. I don't know, because the way I see it is, you know, I don't know. It seems kind of selfish to say that the man is sacrificing the family, because honestly, I don't know many men that go to jobs that they just outright love to do and want to do from sun up to sundown. So I look at it as a man is sacrificing for the family, not sacrificing the family. Because, and I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of men feel unappreciated, because they feel like, yo, all of the things that I'm doing A, B, C, X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying, to provide this particular lifestyle, but it's not appreciated. No matter what I do, I can't do the right thing. I provide, I got a nice house, we in a good neighborhood with this, that, and the third, but now I'm at work too much. Okay, now, so if I don't, if I don't go to work and work these hours and get this money, now that's a problem because we ain't got no money in the household.
Well, I'll give a personal example if I may.
No, no, I
So
don't know, not no personal. Make it you know what I'm saying? Like a friend. Like you know a friend who's going.
I'm gonna give a personal example. Okay, so okay, um so there was a time when, can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I get you good.
Okay. So there was a time when, you know, the type of career I was focused on, I wasn't really bringing in a lot of money, right? So my husband was working a lot of overtime, right? Did what he had to do for the family, you know. So that way we could continue to have the lifestyle we have. So um I, took on a job, in addition to, my side career, which brought in steady income, right? And so to me, that allowed the opportunity for him to not kill himself, you know, trying to work, and because then, it's two of us, you know, and we're working together for the greater good, right? But initially, he was still trying to work all this overtime, and even going in on Sundays. And that's like, one of the family days. So it's just like, okay, I wanted him to relax. I mean, eventually he did, you know, cut back or whatever with, the hours, but it was a hard transition.
Okay. So one of the things that we talked about on the other live stream, right? We were talking about like people getting old and how when you're older, when you reach a certain age, you're pretty much at a fixed income, right?
Hmm.
At some point in time, you're gonna be, or men, women, not just pointing out you, but in
Hmm.
general, people are gonna be at a point where they made what they can make, right?
Hmm.
If you know what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely.
So, do you think that maybe a man is just like, yo, listen, I have these opportunities to make what I can make right now. Let me take full advantage of the opportunity to make as much as I possibly can now so that I can have more of a nest egg sitting around in case something happens. Because listen, at the end of the day, right, everybody is going to look at the father, right, the man, when everything goes bad. When everything's smooth, he don't exist. When everything goes bad, is looked at him like, okay, what we going to do now? So, you don't think that maybe from a man's perspective, especially with him being a provider, that he has to get all that he can get while he can get it and set it aside. Again,
Well,
sacrificing his what he wants. Because many men, live a lifestyle that is not their dream lifestyle, right? I believe that a lot of men sacrifice their happiness and sacrifice the things that they want in life in order to provide for their family. And so just for it to be looked at as like, yo, you're sacrificing the family. What about what that man is sacrificing on his own to provide for the family?
yeah, I mean that part is looked at and understood as well, because not only, in those instances am I concerned about, the family, I'm concerned also for the man's health, in a sense, because if he is constantly working and just you know, it's easy to get burnt out. But then the other side of things, um, you know, I I wouldn't say just cut back, um, completely on making extra money, but cut back some in a sense.
Cutbacks.
Um, yeah, because at the end of the day, when you have young children, as I've stated at least two or three other times, um, you have to be able to fulfill your role as a parent. They kids don't, I mean, yeah, they like to spend money and they like to go places and things of that nature, but time is the most valuable thing that one can have. You
Okay.
can't buy more time, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You sure can't. You sure can't. Okay. Let me ask you this, right? So you used an example where your husband was he was, pretty much doing all the work, or he was working and you weren't. I mean, even forget about that. Have you ever um I don't know. I don't know how your finances are set up. I don't know if you see his paycheck or whatever like that. But have you ever at any point in time was like, yo, listen, this paycheck, this money you brought home is this way too much. Do not bring home this amount of money. Don't do that no more. You worked how many hours? Nah, don't bring that money. Send it back.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Who
so
would
I
say
mean,
something like that? You
so I
making too
mean,
much
you're
money.
cool. So I mean, you're cool with the money, right? You're okay with the money?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you just not cool with, so it has to be give and take.
Yeah, it's give and take, but I can't be a father and a mother. You know, I mean, like I said, I mean, he he gets it now. I mean, he's able to be there and participate and do things he wasn't able to do before. And my main thing, when it became like I'm going to work on Sunday, that's when it was a problem for me.
Oh, it was a problem
Like
for you.
Sunday too.
So hold on. Let me ask you this, because now we're getting deeper into the conversation. So is it that he was sacrificing his family, or is it just you wanted to spend more time with him?
Well, that's the time that, we take the children to church and spend time together, as a family. It's mostly on a Sunday. So, not only me, them too. But then at the end of the day, if let's say one just has a husband, like a wife has a husband that just works constantly, day in, day out, day in, day out, whether they have kids or not. It's just like they don't have time to really know each other because I think at different stages in life, you can learn something new about a person no matter how long you've known them, because you're aging together, you're getting to know them. But it's just like if one spouse is always gone, working, it's like they're strangers. So when it comes time for him to be home, it's just kind of like what kind of relationship do they really have if they don't spend time together or
Well,
anything?
look, it might actually be a better relationship, because they say absence makes the heart grow fonder or something like that, right? So maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe the problem in relationships are that people are around each other too much. You know what I'm saying? And then they start bumping heads and like, you don't got something to do. Like one go in one room and one go in the other room. That absence actually can bring people closer together. No?
I think to a certain degree, but it can't be absence and no contact. I heard something recently. I forgot where it was, but the person was basically making a reference. If a man just takes 5 minutes out of his day, and a total of 5 minutes to interact, let's say with his wife or whatever have you, then that makes for a better relationship in a sense. It kind of, those 5 minutes, even though it's only 5 minutes out the day, it makes a big difference in the relationship.
Okay, so it sounds like it's all about you. It sounds like it's all about you. Like it's about you wanting more time from the man. Is that really what it is?
Not exactly.
No,
No.
not exactly. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. All right. So let me ask you this, right? A lot of men are just under the impression, like, well, look, I pay the mortgage, I this, I that, right? Do you think a lot of men don't understand that the time spent with the family is just as important as, you know what I'm saying, the money that's made?
I think absolutely, because I think, some men can get it confused because with some women, it is about material things. And for some women, they don't care about the material things, you know. So they have to know their partner and know what's important to them. Can't just say I do this and I do that, you know, if you're never there,
Okay.
if that's important to her.
Okay. So, okay, let me ask you this now. And I don't know if this is a question or if I'm gonna ask this statement. Okay, many men feel unappreciated for everything that they do, right? A lot of men. I know this for a fact, right? A lot of men
Mhm.
feel unappreciated for everything that they do. And I just wanted to say that it hit me a certain way when you said it, right? Because a lot of men just suffer in silence, right? We kind of know that
Mhm.
men are, they keep a lot of stuff in, right? Um, so it just sounds very unappreciative to say that a man is sacrificing his family for money, right? Because money is the resource in which he provides for his family. So he's getting the money for the family. You know what I'm saying? But to say that or to put it out there or frame it in a way that the man is sacrificing the family for the money that he is making to provide for the family, it just sounds very unappreciative. You know what I'm saying? Because men sacrifice a lot of the things that they want to do in life. They sacrifice those things so that they can provide for the family. But see, that's not really looked at. You understand what I'm saying? There are a lot of men who don't have any hobbies, don't have any pastime. They don't have anything because all they do is go to work and come home. They make as much money as they can to provide what it is that their family needs, So to just frame it like that, like he's sacrificing the, his family for money, that's, men and women see
Well,
things,
that's not,
but
the total.
that's what you said.
That's well, I recall also saying that they sacrifice. Um, I may have said it that way, but what I mean is, there are men who, like I said, are just focused on making the money, not necessarily I have to make the money or my family won't be able to survive, or I'm the breadwinner of the family, so I have to go work all these hours.
You
It's
don't
a
think men feel like that?
I'm not saying that isn't the case for some, but in some instances that's not always the case,
So
you
what are
know.
they doing with the money? What do you think the men are doing with the money that they work, 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 work to provide for the family? What do you think? What are they doing with the money? Are they just flashy? They got a lot of jewelry. They got a lot of toys. And
Not all. I mean, there are a few. I would say that, they're supporting whatever, like, or they just like to see their money keep going up.
okay, but let's just say the in general, right? In general, I would say that most men really are working the way that they work so that they can, you know what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
provide for their family. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. So
So
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with, working to provide for your family. because
You
I
just
mean,
can't make too
people are
much.
going to do what they have to do
Okay, okay, I got you.
as long as it's what you have to do.
Okay, if that man feels that that's what he has to do, is that problematic?
There's a difference in what someone thinks that's what they have to do than to be what they have to do or what they want to do. So what is it really? Is it what he wants to do or what he has to do? I mean, especially, if you have a good helpmeet or whatever, that doesn't mind. Yeah, like traditionally men are providers, but you have households where women don't mind going in the workforce or whatever and helping, you know, to, you know, um be be there to help support the family as well. Not saying that they have to, but they do.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Do you know, or do you believe that many men kind of judge themselves or value themselves on their money or by their money?
Absolutely.
So, can you understand that a man feels more like a man based on the amount of money that he has? And
Well, if
so,
they're placing their value of themselves on money, then that's a problem. But I can understand that
no,
some men may feel that way.
no, I'm not necessarily saying that their value as a man, but I mean, look, women, they're very I'll say maybe self-conscious when it comes to their looks, right? Women like to look a certain way, right? Their beauty means something to them. So the same way a woman and her beauty, you know what I'm saying, means a lot to her, it's the same way for a man. So now when you're trying to tell a man, hey, listen, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? It kind of looks at him, or he kind of looks at himself like he's not reaching his full potential.
I mean, I can understand that.
You can understand that?
Yeah, I can understand that because I mean, I guess for a woman, that's the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than a woman who, you know what I'm saying, she gets ready to go out and then she puts on makeup, right? Most women, I mean, in my opinion, women look fine without makeup. But she may say, oh, no, I just got to enhance this and put a little bit of this to make this look and this stand out and maybe put a little, you know what I'm saying, to just kind of enhance however she already looks. It's pretty much the same thing, you know what I'm saying, with a man, especially a man who has a family and he views himself as, you know what I'm saying, the provider. And so he never wants to be in a position where anybody in his family needs something and he can't be there to help. You know what I'm saying? That's like a man's worst, you know what I'm saying, nightmare. Knowing that, you know what I'm saying, somebody in his family, somebody that depends on him needs something and he can't provide it. And so that's why a lot of men, we talked on the other on the live stream about, you know what I'm saying, a man in his health, right? We talked about how men just let their health go, right? Men will go to work just broken. You know what I'm saying? Broken body parts, pieces falling off, swells. You know what I'm saying? Just they got to put themselves together, shovel themselves together in order to get the work to make that money to provide for the family. But that's what men do. So you know what I'm saying? Just to say that a man is sacrificing the family for the money, yo, that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because men sacrifice themselves for their family. So that now think about this, a whole man who is sacrificing himself for the family being looked at as, yo, you're sacrificing the family because you're chasing money. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, he's like, yo,
But
I'm
I
doing
think I
that for the
also
family.
say he will sacrifice himself because I was talking about, how he, will work himself to death.
Yeah, but that was on a
you know?
different topic though. That was on a different
Yeah.
topic. We was talking about the health, but I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying? The part when you're like, he'll sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? The family.
Yeah, because when we're
Mhm.
talking about money being more important to a man, yeah. So if he's chasing the bag, that's what we were talking about.
Right, but he's chasing the bag for the family.
If he's chasing the bag for the family, then that's different. But if he's just
But
chasing the bag because he can never make enough money, and
for
then
the family though, for the family. His
for the
he's
family,
looking
then
at it like his family, there's never gonna be enough for his family. You understand what I'm saying? He's always going to want more for his family. He's never going to be satisfied. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, yeah, that's rough to say that the man is sacrificing the family for the money, man. You know what I'm saying? Because men sacrifice a whole lot. Listen, this is why you hear, this is why, you know what I'm saying? I get aggravated, you know what I'm saying? When I hear people talk about, uh, oh, a man reached a certain age and he went out and bought a sports car. So he's going through a midlife crisis. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how's the man going through a midlife crisis? This man did raised a whole family. You know what I'm saying? Put his kids through college, sacrificed everything that he has always wanted in life for his family. So now finally he gets a paycheck to himself. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably not even a real paycheck because probably now he's at the point where he's retired. So it's not even the amount of money that he was making when he was able to make work overtime and all that stuff. But finally he gets to buy something for himself,
Hmm.
and they say that the man going through a crisis. You know what I'm saying? Because he finally, like,
You
yes.
know, they say that both about older men and women because you decide to do certain things later in life. Oh, you must be going through a midlife crisis. Like, no, like I had all these responsibilities and things that were more important, to focus my resources and time and all of that on. And now it's me time,
Yeah.
and it's well deserved.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But yeah, I just wanted to just kind of get your take on that. I had to get some clarity on that because it sounds harsh, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that there are plenty of men out there who they are running themselves ragged, but it's to provide, you know what I'm saying, for their family. Me personally, I be looking at them like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I can't say that because I work a lot, man. I do a lot, but I'm just saying, it just sounds harsh. It just sounds harsh. You know what I'm saying? For a man to sacrifice everything that it is that he wants in life, and he's making these sacrifices so his family can have everything. You know what I'm saying? A man, he looks at his family as his legacy. He wants to be able to sit back. He like a lot of men will like delayed gratification. You know what I'm saying? So I'll delay gratification now. You know what I'm saying? And I'll work and I'll grind and I'll this and that and blah, blah, blah. So that later on I can sit back and watch my legacy do its thing. I done put my
Hmm.
college, I done did this and I done did that and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But depending on how much money the man makes and how many hours he has to work, you know what I'm saying, to make ends meet. If he cuts back on his hours, he may never see those things that he want to see. You understand what I'm saying? He may not be able to pay for his kids' college, so now his kids got to get a loan to go to college. You know what I'm saying? And then they got to pay the loan back and all that. You know what I'm saying? That man want to set them kids up so that when they graduate from college, the first thing they get in the mail is not a bill for, you know what I'm saying, whatever your loan was or what. I don't know how that goes. I ain't school. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be able to set it up where he does all the work, and his kids and his family can enjoy the fruits of his labor. So if he sits back and he's on easy street right now, that's not going to be able to happen later. So we just got to be a little bit easier on the guys that are you know what I'm saying, because they sacrificing a whole lot, and so just to
Yeah, I
say,
would say 95%, um, are doing it for the right reason.
yeah, but that just sound harsh, man, when you say that the man is sacrificing his family.
But
chasing money.
you need to think about it this way. It's just like a small percentage if that saying if that is, the reason just to chase the bag, not, that he's doing it for his family.
So as long as he putting all the money back in the household, it's okay that he's not there. He makes
No,
everything.
I mean, I still don't want him to kill himself. So no, it's not okay.
Okay.
I if he taking care of himself, you know,
Okay. All right.
mental and physical well-being.
All right. All right. I got you. I got you. All right. So I just wanted to clear that up, man, because it sounded harsh. I know I would have felt some type of way if somebody talking about, oh, you sacrificing like, yo, hold up, man. I'm working all these hours and doing all this, man. Like, come on, can I get some credit, man? And that's why a lot of men feel like they're not appreciated in the situations that they in. All right. Got it. So we good?
Yeah, we're good.
I just want to clear that up. So don't ever say that again. I don't ever say it. Don't ever, ever,
You see,
ever.
you can't just take a little small little corner of something and make it the whole
Yeah,
thing
yes,
because
I can.
that's
I did.
not
I
that's
can
not
and I did.
that's not where I was going with it.
Well, it's what you said. So yeah, you know how
But that
you know
wasn't the
how that
only
works.
thing.
You know, they clip up little bits and pieces here and all
Yeah.
that. So I took a clip of what you said,
Yeah, don't take a
and
clip of what
so
I said.
I just wanted to address it. But
You
also too, I don't want I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So just in case, I don't know, just in case you was having a conversation with, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, your husband. And you be like, oh, you sacrificing the like I'm trying to help you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you and anybody that might be watching this. Like, yo, listen, if you feel as though he's working too much, and just don't say it like, nah, because yeah, he gonna feel some type of way. It's just my thoughts. I just wanted to share that, but I just wanted to get some clarity on it though. So,
understand.
all right,
All right.
all right. So I thank you very much for. Let me see what it's been about 45 minutes of your time. That has been the quickest. Yeah, right there. And so I'm gonna let you get back to your family because I don't want you to sacrifice your family being on these live streams and then you know what I'm saying? That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because you was on one yesterday, now you are what today. And so we don't want no trouble. We don't want this to backfire on you. All right.
Yeah, don't want to deal with the D's.
Yeah, we don't need no trouble. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Kid, I appreciate you. And we're gonna wrap this one up.
All
Yeah, be
right.
good.